Jianye travels through the world of quadrangles and awakens the divine-level pharmacist system. You can easily make various magical potions. In order to make money, Jianye decided to first prepare some aphrodisiacs. However, his home was visited by Bang Ji. Coincidentally, the aphrodisiac he had just prepared was taken by Bang Jing. At a young age, Bang Ji doesn't understand the meaning of setting up a tent. He only knew that it made him feel embarrassed in front of his friends and inconvenient to move around. So he gritted his teeth, stomped his feet, and forcefully broke blooming wildly. Qin Huai was confused, the whole hospital was foolish, and Jia Zhang called the police. Unfortunately, calling the police is useless. After reporting to the police, Jianye found that everyone's gaze towards him began to emit green light. With the endorsement of Bang memes, Jianye's various potions became popular. Bang Ji. Why is it always me who gets hurt? QAQ, Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1 Bang Geng. What is the use of this iron rod when I want it? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Oh no, the small glass bottle is not enough. Jianye slapped himself hard on the head. Then he opened the door and walked out. He is a traveler. A person with the same name and surname who has traveled to the world of quadrangle houses and still looks the same as himself. And the time is March of 61 years. It's a difficult time. And Jianye himself is still an unemployed street wanderer. When Jianye felt hopeless. Suddenly awakened a divine-level pharmacist system. The system functions are very simple. It is to provide Jianye with a list of medicines. Jianye can choose one of them for research and development and production. After making the potion, we need to sell 100 copies. Only then can you receive rewards and unlock the next potion. At the same time as obtaining the Tao system, Jianye also received a beginner gift package. And his newbie gift package includes advanced traditional Chinese medicine skills and a qualification certificate for practicing traditional Chinese medicine. Having the qualification to dispense medication. With such a certificate, he can openly dispense medication. Advanced traditional Chinese medicine techniques are not very strong. In terms of ability, it is equivalent to a general practitioner of traditional Chinese medicine who has the qualification to open a shop in later generations. But it can also make Jianye worthy of such a qualification certificate. Nowadays, Jianye is a street skater without a job. In order to quickly establish a reputation. In order to survive better in this world. Jianye directly chose the most domineering aphrodisiac in the list of potions. Now the medicine has been prepared. At the same time, he has also divided the medicine into many small bottles. But unfortunately, he miscalculated the capacity. I didn't buy enough small bottles. So he hurried out and prepared to purchase another batch of small bottles. However, after Jianye left, a small figure suddenly appeared stealthily at Jianye's doorstep. Humph. Grandma said. Jianye, that little bastard, has been hiding inside these days. The home always emits a special fragrance. I must be secretly eating delicious food. Let me take a look. What delicious food did he secretly make? Bang Ji smiled and took out a screwdriver. Start dismantling the door lock of Jianye's house. The locks of this era. They all use padlocks. There is a simple way to unlock this type of lock. That is to directly use a screwdriver to remove the lock. It's past 2 o'clock in the afternoon now. Everyone who works has already gone to work. Most people who don't work are taking a nap. So, Bang Ji easily opened the door. No one saw the whole process. Hee. How can this kind of lock be difficult to hold, young master? After Bang Geng entered the house, He carefully rummaged through the room. Found it. Soon. Bang Geng found a bag of stick noodles, a bag of millet, and a half-eaten Chinese cabbage in the kitchen. Cut. Not even a bit of meat. Bang Ji didn't take a liking to these things. Then continue to search. Unfortunately, Jianye is a traveler. I know there is a thief in the courtyard. So, carry both money and tickets with you. Bang Ji walked around the room. I'm stunned, I haven't found a single ticket. This made him feel very angry. What about things? Why is there no money at all? This little bastard is too poor, isn't he? Bang Geng continued to search with cursing. Suddenly, he saw a pile of small bottles placed on the table next to him. That is a transparent glass bottle. And the bottle is filled with orange liquid. It looks like juice. There is also a small note pasted on top of the bottle. The note reads: Aphrodisiac, effective *****, drink 1 drop at a time, maintain for 2 hours. Do not overdo. If taken in excess, please consume yang tao to relieve the drug's properties. Not allowed to use under 18 years old. Please place the item out of reach of children. An aphrodisiac. What medicine is this? It cannot be used before the age of 18. Humph. It must be a good thing. Bang Ji's big eyes, sparkling with a wise expression. He curiously opened a bottle and sniffed it on his nose. As a result, I smelled a sweet fragrance. Juice. Surprisingly, it's juice. Humph. Sure enough. Also saying that one cannot drink under the age of 18. This must be intentional to prevent me from making jokes. Bang Geng is overjoyed. Then he opened his mouth and drank up the small bottle in one gulp. Sweet and delicious. I didn't expect it. This little bastardly Jianye is actually making juice at home. Humph. I don't know if there's such good juice for me to drink, young master. Look at me stealing all the light for you. Bang Ji thought so. I just want to get started and steal. But soon he remembered his grandmother. No way. If we bring them all home, Grandma will definitely steal the drink. Such a delicious thing. It must all be mine. Since that's the case, let's send it to Jianye, this little bastard, for now. Bang Ji thought of this. I couldn't help but give a thumbs up for my wit. In order to prevent Jianye from discovering, he took away the small bottle he had finished drinking. Then he took 2 small bottles and put them in his pocket. That's it. Bang Ji processed his traces and returned the same way. Out of the door. Install the door lock. Bang Geng happily went to play with his friends. Unfortunately, the good times don't last long. I haven't played for long yet. Bang Ji suddenly felt his whole body getting hot and dry. The most crucial thing is, he found an extra tent on his pants. This made him feel very puzzled. At the same time, there are also some who don't quite understand why this is happening. After all, he is only 9 years old. I don't understand many things. However, there is one thing he understands. That's how awkward it is. The children who played with him began to mock him. After a burst of anger and embarrassment, Bang Ji became angry. I ran alone to a corner to carefully check my condition. He kept exerting force, continuously using various methods. I want my tent to disappear. But unfortunately, no matter what he does, he cannot make this tent disappear. Absurdly. His buddies also came over to watch his liveliness. One by one, they gathered around and mocked him. Repeated failures. A wave of ridicule after another. Causing the stick meme to become angry and embarrassed. He, who is only 9 years old, doesn't understand the meaning of that thing. I only know. Whoever provokes him will die. What's the use of this iron rod for me? So he gritted his teeth, stomped his feet, and forcefully broke Blooming wildly. Ow! Bang Geng let out a miserable scream. And the little companions around saw such a scene. Everyone was stunned. Then they dispersed in unison. Some of them have good intentions. Do you still know how to run to the Jia family and tell such bad news to the Jia Zhang family who was putting on the soles of their shoes? Grandma Jia. Your family's punk cow is spraying blood. Jia Zhang. Chapter 2. The Rogue Jia Zhang. Everyone in the courtyard. You are listening at novel full.audio. What are you talking about, you little bastard? After Jia Zhang was bewildered for a moment. Suddenly flew into a rage. The child who came to report the kindness was cursed with anger. Are you cursing our family's meme? Wow! Our family no longer has pillars. Even you little doll dares to curse our family. See if I don't deal with you. Jia Zhang said. He lifted the sole of his shoe in his hand. Rushed towards the child. The child was immediately infuriated and cried upon seeing such a scene. He screamed and cried on the side. Running towards the distance on one side. At the same time. Still shouting and saying that I'm not lying. Such a scene immediately attracted many people to watch. Everyone held on to Jia Zhang to persuade. Old sister.in.law. That's still a child. Don't do this. Yes, it is. What should I do if I break such a small child? Say it again. Children generally do not lie or curse people. Maybe. He's telling the truth. Hearing such a person's words. Jia Zhang immediately turned his spear and aimed it at the speaker, spraying wildly. What do you mean? Is it a curse on our Jia family? We bang the meme well. How could a cow spray blood? Jia Zhang pointed at the person and sprayed. And others saw Jia Zhang behave in such a way. They also kept silent. After causing a commotion, Jia Zhang found that no one had responded. It just stopped. However. After stopping. But there was some fuzz in her heart. After all. The probability of children lying is relatively low. And Jia Dongshu has already died. Bang Geng is their only seedling. If something happens to this single seedling. She didn't even know how to meet Lao Jia in 100 years. So. Jia Zhang went to the place where Bang Geng often played. Not long after searching. Jia Zhang saw a child lying on the ground. There is a lot of blood around the child. And that child is still wearing the same clothes as Bang Ji. See this scene. Jia Zhang immediately panicked. She rushed over with just one swift step. Squeezed open the crowd of onlookers. Discovering that child is just a punk. Suddenly. Jia Zhang's family collapsed. Bang meme. My grandson. Why are you doing this? What's wrong with your cow? How did it break? Woo 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 woo, I can't live these days anymore. Old Jia. Come and take a look. I haven't posted this day. Our Lao Jia family is going to have no children or grandchildren. I won't live either. Old Jia. You come up and take me away too. Jia Zhang collapsed directly and began to cry. But the onlookers around her couldn't bear to watch. Auntie. Hurry up and take the child to the hospital. Go early, maybe there's still a way to cure it. If you go late, it really won't work. Yes. A word awakens the dreamer. After hearing that person's words. Jia Zhang suddenly woke up. However. What she realized was not to send the child to the hospital earlier. But rather there may be hidden killers around. Whether the child can be saved remains to be seen. This money still needs to be compensated. So. Jia Zhang suddenly turned his head. Looking towards the kind-hearted elder sister who just spoke out to remind her to take Bang Ji to the hospital. Why did you remind me to take my child to the hospital? Is it because you are the murderer? If you're not the murderer, why do you want to remind me? This. I heard Jia Zhang's words. Everyone around was confused. And that big sister was directly laughed at in anger. Ha ha ha. What did I do? Okay. You go call the police. What do you say when the police come? Okay. Have you all seen it? She admitted it. Upon hearing these words, Jia Zhang was immediately excited. She grabbed onto the kind-hearted lady's clothes. Do not let the other party leave. Then he began to shout and scream. Lose money. You must lose money. If you don't pay 1,000 yuan, you can't leave. Madman, let go. That kind-hearted lady is a bit overwhelmed. She never expected it. A kind word from oneself has caused such a big trouble. Let go. What if you let go and run away? Lose money. Immediately lose money. Jia Zhang relentlessly pulled at the other party. Just don't let go. Under the entanglement of Jia Zhang's family. The Bang Ji in her arms sprayed out a little blood again. See this scene. The people around immediately began to condemn Jia and Zhang. How could you be such a grandmother? Yes. Hurry up and go to the hospital now. What will you do if your grandson is gone later? This elder sister came later than me. Obviously, it's not the culprit. Grandma. If you really want to find the killer. After rescuing the child first. Go report to the police again. The people around started talking nonsense. Although Jia Zhang is a shrewd and rogue. But. After offending the public, she became completely intimidated. Plus, I do have some concerns that my grandson's meme is really gone. So. She finally stopped causing trouble. After hurling a harsh word at the big sister. He rushed towards the courtyard with a Bang Geng in his arms. As soon as she returned to the courtyard, Jia Zhang began to shout loudly. First, I borrowed a cart from Lu Ergu's house in the front yard. And asked Lu Ergu to help transport Bang Ji to the hospital. Then I went to the courtyard again and found Zhonghai's wife. Ask him to go to the steel rolling mill to notify Qin Huai. Accompanied by Jia Zhang's shouting and chattering. The whole quadrangle also knew about Bang Ji. After a flurry of flying chickens and dogs. Many people who didn't have much to do and did good things followed Jia Zhang to the hospital. On the other side. Rolling mill, fitter workshop. At this moment, Qin Huai is struggling with a big belly in the workshop. Not long ago. Her man Jia Dongshu had an accident and died directly. Then she took over from Jia Dongshu's workstation and came to work. However. She is a person who enjoys playing tricks. So. After starting work. She often uses her outstanding appearance to cheat and play tricks. Ask other colleagues to help with the work. Ask for food from other colleagues. Plus her current master, Zhonghai, a level 8 fitter. So. Many people even have some opinions about her. But I dare not speak up or be angry. Today. Qin Huai is as usual. Enjoying the flattery of some licking dog workers. Just as she was feeling proud and preparing to scam some food stamps. But I saw a person from the security department rushing in with a fierce roar. As soon as he entered, he shouted loudly, Qin Huai. Qin Huai. Someone outside the factory is looking for you, saying that something big happened to your son. It's almost over. Boom. I heard that person's words. Qin Huai felt as if she had been struck by lightning. Dizziness and dizziness. Hands and feet are cold. Chapter 3. Hospital farce, Jia and Zhang report to the police. You are listening at novel full.audio. Huairu. After seeing Qin Huairu's body shake for a while, she is about to fall. Her colleague immediately stepped forward and helped Qin Huairu. Then I took a little advantage of it. Huairu, are you okay? However, Qin Huairu, however, did not pay attention to the worker. She rushed straight to the person in charge of the security department. In a hoarse voice, he asked, "What happened to my son?" "You speak quickly." "I don't know if you ask me." The person in the security department looked innocent. "I just came over to pass a message. Please go back and take a look quickly, okay?" Qin Huairu gritted her teeth. Then turn around and prepare to ask for leave from Zhonghai. However, just as I turned my head, I saw Zhonghai who had already walked over. "Grandpa. Huairu, you go back first. I'll handle your leave request and follow along." Zhonghai spoke in a deep voice. "Say it." He looked at a fellow worker on the side again. "Shaoli, let's use your bicycle. Now is a matter of life and death. You don't want Huairu to be sad, do you?" This. Shaoli wanted to refuse, but he didn't dare. Finally, I could only nod and agree. Handed over the bicycle keys. "Let's go. Huairu. I'll go find silly Zhu. Let him ride his bike and take you over first. I'll be there soon. Watch Zhonghai's operation." Qin Huairu's heart has finally stabilized a lot. Then the two rushed towards the cafeteria where Yuzhu worked together. Tell Yuzhu about the matter. Looking at the Qin Huairu with pear blossoms and rain. Yuzhu did not hesitate at all. Just ride Shaoli's bike and charged towards the outside of the factory with Qin Huairu. And Zhonghai went to help them take a leave first. And then he also left the factory. At this moment, in the hospital, Bang Geng has been sent for rescue. In Rabbit Country, acute surgeries are performed first to save lives and then to pay for them. Although this can save more lives. But it is also prone to various disputes. Just like now. Surgical expenses, medical expenses, and hospitalization expenses. At present, the total is 31.14 yuan. Please submit it first. If it's not enough, it will need to be paid later. 31 yuan. Why don't you go grab it? Hear the nurse's quotation. Jia Zhang immediately began to scream. In this era, an ordinary worker's monthly salary is only around 30 yuan. And the prices in this era are very low. A salary of 30 yuan is enough to support a family. Auntie. You are a worker's child, you can reimburse half of it, the nurse spoke angrily. I don't have money. Jia Zhang pouted. Choose to ignore the nurse directly. The nurse was so angry that she wanted to cry. As a neighbor, I quickly persuaded Jia and Zhang upon seeing the situation. Let her pay. And some passers-by also began to condemn the Jia Zhang family. I see it's about to provoke public anger again. Jia Zhang immediately became hesitant. However, at this moment, but a flash of inspiration flashed in her mind. I won't pay this money. I want to report to the police. Let the police catch the perpetrator who bullied my grandson. Let the killer pay. Speaking of which, Jia Zhang began to cry and howl. My life is so hard. The man left early. Leave me and my son to rely on each other. I finally pulled my son to grow up. Watch him get married and have children. It didn't take long to leave. Now, the only unique seedling in our Lao Jia family has suffered such a crime again. How miserable I am. Old Jia. Come up and take a look. What kind of a family we've been bullied by. And just as Jia Zhang was crying and howling, Yuzhu also brought Qin Huai over. Mom! What about Bang Geng? Bang Meme. Rescue is underway. Jia Zhang glanced at Yuzhu, who was supporting Qin Huai beside her. There was a fierce look in his eyes. Silly pillar. The cost has not been paid yet. I came out in a hurry. Can you help to cushion it first, this? Columns. Stupid pillar was stunned. I feel a bit inclined to refuse. However. Qin Huai touched her little hand and cried. His heart immediately softened. Okay, Qin Jia. You're pregnant. Don't run around. Leave this matter to me. Speaking. Yuzhu went to pay the fee amidst the strange gazes of the crowd. I'll tell you. You stay away from that silly pillar. If you dare to apologize to my son. See how I deal with you. Jia Zhang held on to Qin Huai, harshly admonishing. Mom! What are you talking about? Upon hearing this, Qin Huai once again shed a few tears. Okay. I won't talk to you anymore. I'm going to report to the police to arrest someone. Jia Zhang said. Turn around and walk towards the outside of the hospital. She's going to report to the police. Bring the murderer to justice. Of course. The most important thing is to make that killer lose money. And while there was a commotion in the hospital, inside a courtyard house, Jianye also bought things well. Quickly walked back from outside. He went to the previous store to buy a small glass bottle and it was out of stock. I went to another place to buy. So. The waste time is a bit long. Just entered the courtyard. He found that there were fewer people in the courtyard. Jianye has returned. Yan Bugui's wife, Yang Ruehua, greeted Jianye with a smile. Although Jianye is an unemployed street wanderer, everyone keeps a respectful distance. But Yan Bugui and his wife always greet him when they see him. Sandama, has Sandayi returned? Jianye chuckled and casually chatted. Not yet. Hey Jianye, do you know about the matter with the intermediate people's court, the middle courtyard? What happened? Let me tell you, Yang Ruehua lowered his voice and whispered, the cow of Bang Ji is broken. I don't know who did it either. But the Jia family may end up having no children or grandchildren. What? Jianye was confused. Chapter 4. Jianye Report to the police. Police officers enter the courtyard. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This is not right. After chatting with the three mothers for a while, Jianye, I suddenly realized something was wrong. Thinking of the pirate saint attribute of Bang Geng. And the aphrodisiac at home. Jianye suddenly had an ominous premonition. After a brief conversation with the three mothers, he hurrying towards home. Sure enough. This door lock has been passive. After seeing traces of the door lock being removed from my own house, Jianye immediately stopped his steps. He didn't rush back to the room, but turned around directly and walked towards the outside. He first sent the small glass bottle he bought to Yan Bugui's house. Then he ran straight towards the police station. Arrived at the police station, Jianye reported directly that his home had been stolen. Very soon, 2 police officers followed Jianye to the courtyard. I saw that Jianye actually brought 2 police officers in. The people in the courtyard suddenly approached curiously one by one. Jianye, what's going on here? How did you call the police officers comrades? Yes, it is what's up. Let's solve it internally after the 3 masters come back. Listen to those neighbors. Jianye couldn't help but sneer and shake his head. Wait for the 3 masters to come back and resolve it internally. That's not solving the problem. But to solve him himself. Why? Li Jianye looked coldly at those neighbors. He said calmly, because my home was stolen. What's going on? Can the housekeeper also handle things like burglary? Our steward. Just responsible for handling neighborhood disputes. I can't even handle the theft, stolen. After hearing Li Jianye's words, everyone was a bit stunned. And at this moment, the police officer next to Li Jianye smiled and spoke up. This comrade is right. The steward is only responsible for handling some neighborhood disputes. Such cases of burglary. Be sure to handle the alarm. Never solve it on your own in a large courtyard. Otherwise, it will fuel the thief's arrogance. Listen to the police officers. Everyone's eyes couldn't help but flicker. Bang meme theft is not happening once or twice. Since he ran away with a sensible mind. I often steal things. So. The neighbors in the courtyard have also lost a lot of things. However. In the past. There are Zhonghai covers available. Causing them to not even report to the police. But. Now, after hearing what the police said. Everyone is trying to call the police one by one. However. They are thinking that time has passed for a long time. There is no evidence left at home either. Then he dispelled the idea of reporting to the police directly. However. Although they dispelled the idea of reporting directly to the police. But they secretly made up their minds. If there is another time. They must call the police. The group quickly arrived at the backyard. At Li Jianye's doorstep. Subsequently. 2 police officers began to look around Li Jianye's house. Comrade, there are indeed traces of your door lock being dismantled again. After a thorough inspection by the police. Nodding to Li Jianye. With a positive expression on his face, he said, you did the right thing. We have finished checking now. You can open the door now. Okay. Li Jianye nodded. Then open the door. Let 2 police officers in to check. After a thorough examination. The police found that there were indeed signs of theft in this house. Comrades. Please check now. Look at what you've lost at home. Good. Li Jianye checked it. Because he carries both money and tickets with him. There are no valuable items at home. So. He quickly realized that he had lost something. 3 bottles of medicine are missing. Li Jianye's eyes showed a hint of clarity. He was indeed right in his guess. This aphrodisiac has a fruity flavor. So. It's not strange to be stolen and drunk. Comrade police officer. I lost 3 bottles of aphrodisiacs at home, what? 2 police officers heard this. A question mark suddenly appeared on his face. They can't figure it out no matter what. After the thief entered. Why not steal money, not steal food? What kind of aphrodisiac to steal? Is that so? Is this aphrodisiac really very effective? Thinking of this. The faces of both police officers became somewhat strange. However. What should be asked or what needs to be asked? Comrades. How much did you pay for your aphrodisiac? Where did you buy it again? I made this medicine myself. That's it. Li Jianye picked up the small bottle on the table and handed it to the police. The cost is 5 yuan per bottle. Of course. I have so many options, it's not for selling money. Our country prohibits private buying and selling transactions. I am preparing to use these things as knocking bricks. For people like pharmacies and pharmacies. Let them recruit me as a pharmacist, cost 5 yuan. The 2 police officers were somewhat surprised. Yes. Because the effect is good and the materials are good. So it's expensive. Li Jianye smiled and told a big lie. Actually. The cost of this medicine is only 10 cents. And the most expensive cost is still glass bottles. Can you show me? Sure. Li Jianye responded. Then I took a bottle of aphrodisiac directly. Handed over to 2 police officers. 2 police officers opened it. Smell it. Then he frowned. Comrade, are you sure this is not juice? Of course not. Good, we understand. 2 police officers recorded it. Then he returned the bottle of medicine to Li Jianye and said goodbye directly. They began to visit and investigate within the courtyard. And the neighbors who originally wanted to watch the excitement. At this moment, they are passively accepting inquiries and investigations. They adhere to the principle of, it's better to say everything when you've come, and, it's better to say more when you've said everything. Tell me about their family's past theft. And all the suspicious objects were mentioned once. The police officers were stunned upon hearing this. I feel like this quadrangle is really that's outrageous. At the same time, in the police station not far from the hospital, Jia Zhang looked angrily at the police officer in front of him and said loudly, Comrade, I want to report to the police. My grandson's cow was broken by someone police officer. Chapter 5. Bang Geng Awakens. Angry Silly Pillar. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Comrades. Can you elaborate on it? The police officer looked at Jia Zhang with a strange expression. Then take out a pen and paper. Start recording. This is the first time he has seen such a case. However, although it's a bit strange, but this case is extremely heinous. I am not sure about the specific situation either. I knew my grandson was going out to play. And not long after, his cow broke off. Jia Zhang spoke angrily. Where is your grandson now? Hospitals. Is it convenient to inquire about something? He is still rescuing. Not convenient. Did he go out to play with other friends? Have I heard this? Jia Zhang's eyes lit up. Yes, yes. We can go ask his friends. Comrades. Follow me. I'll take you to find my grandson's friends. Good, the police officer nodded. Then I brought a companion. The 2 of them followed Jia Zhang towards Bang Geng's friend's home together. Soon, I arrived at the home of my friend Bang Geng. However, after some questioning, but I got an answer that confused everyone. He broke the bull with a bang stem himself. The little friend spoke with a simple expression on his face. No. It's impossible. Jia Zhang angrily patted the table upon hearing this. My grandson is not a fool. How could such a thing be done? Say. Did you do it? This must be what you did. Speak up. Say it. Wow. The child was immediately scared and cried by Jia Zhang. Comrades. Don't shout so loudly. The police officers were a bit angry when they saw the situation. Quickly separated the Jia and Zhang families. I can understand your feelings. But please do not interfere with our interrogation. Cut. Jia Zhang pursed her lips. I dare not shout at the police. Can only hold arms with both hands. Standing on the side, glaring fiercely at the child. The child was scared and screamed. Watching this scene, the angry police officers drove Jia and Zhang out directly. This way, the inquiry will end quickly. After questioning the child, the police took Jia Zhang to the homes of other children playing with Bang Geng to inquire. After some questioning, they are already very certain about one thing. That's it. The bull with bang memes was really broken by himself. Although the conclusion is very absurd. The police were also somewhat stunned. But it's real. Unfortunately, Jia Zhang does not believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. My grandson is not a fool. How could such a thing be done, since that's the case? Police officers actually have many questions. So. He spoke up and said, let's go to the hospital together and take a look. Wait for your grandson to wake up after surgery. Let's go ask him, okay? Jia Zhang nodded. Quickly took the police to the hospital. Just arrived at the hospital. Jia Zhang received good news that Bang's surgery has ended. Bang Ji's life has also been saved. But the situation of Bang Geng's cattle is not good. Does Bang Geng become a eunuch after reaching adulthood? It depends on Bang Ji's own recovery. Woo-woo. Qin Huai talked to Jia Zhang about the situation of Bang memes. Crying on the side. Yuzhu, who was watching beside him, felt heartbroken. The thought of the killer actually doing such a crazy thing. He couldn't help but look at Jia Zhang with some anger. Grandma Jia. Who did this crazy thing? I must break his leg. Comrades. Revenge is not right. Jia Zhang has not spoken yet. The police officer on the side spoke up. Not bad, pillar. You can't think that way. Upon hearing this, Zhonghai quickly spoke up. Say it. Explaining to the police with a smile. Comrade police officer. Sorry. He is really too angry about the pillar. After all, that's still a child. Let's not take this as an example. The police officer also nodded. Comrade police officer. Excuse me, have you found the suspect? Qin Huai looked eagerly at the police officers. I want to use beauty to lure the other person into saying something beneficial to her. However, the police officers don't even eat her tricks. There is none. Regarding this case, there are still some doubts. We need to ask the parties involved. I heard the police say so. Everyone is somewhat disappointed. However, they didn't say anything either. Actually, they are also very curious about this matter. Who on earth did such an unacceptable thing? Not long ago, Bang Ji woke up. Hiss. As soon as he woke up, Bang Ji felt a sharp pain coming from his cow. Then he recalled what had happened not long ago. Ah! My cow. After hearing the sound of banging, the people around immediately gathered around. Bang meme. My son. Hurry up and talk to your mother. Who the hell is it, who is so insane and did such a thing? Yes, it's a punk. Tell your silly uncle. Who did it? I'll hammer him to death. Bang meme. You scared grandma to death. Hurry up and tell me who it is. Who did such a thing? Listen to everyone's words. However, a hint of confusion and shame flashed in Bang Geng's eyes. To be honest, he still has no idea what happened. I only know that I am very embarrassed. So, I used some force. As a result, the cow broke. I made it myself. I heard the pun. Everyone was immediately stunned. When they were just chatting, they had already heard the police say the results of the inquiry. But I didn't expect it. This is actually true. Oh my. Why are you doing this? You're stupid. Qin Huai was crying and howling. I don't know either. My cow is very strange. Bang Ji described the situation at that time. I highlighted my awkwardness. They all laughed at me. I was in a fit of anger. I used some force. The result is this. Upon hearing these words, everyone immediately frowned. Especially those two police officers. They sensed something was wrong. Children. Did you drink anything before feeling uncomfortable? A police officer asked. This. Bang Ji's eyes flickered and he didn't want to say anything. After all, that thing was stolen by him. Tell the police about this. He doesn't think it's very good. That thing may be the culprit behind your current fate. The police saw Bang Ji's evasion and quickly continued to ask. Yes. My son. You speak quickly. Bang Geng said. A group of people kept shouting loudly. Let Bang Geng say. Bang Geng couldn't resist. Stuttered out. I drank a bottle of juice at Li Jianye's house. Everyone. Li Jianye. I'll beat you to death. Yuzhu is furious. Chapter 6. Zhonghai's heart is tired, two waves of police meet. You are listening at novel full.audio. When Yuzhu thought of the culprit who made his goddess Qin Huai so sad, it was after Li Jianye. The whole person was angry. This is not because he has any prejudice against Li Jianye. But rather, no matter who offended Qin Huai, he will get angry. Pillar. Upon hearing this, Zhonghai immediately held down Yuzhu. Although he strongly supports Yuzhu beating Li Jianye. But now there are police officers present. Some things cannot be said. Comrade police officers. Zhonghai just wanted to explain something. The Jia Zhang family on the side began to roar. Old Jia. Open your eyes and take a look. What kind of mess has our home been caused by that little bastard Li Jianye? He abandoned our only seedlings. You come up quickly. Take that little bastard Li Jianye away. Zhonghai. At this moment, Zhonghai feels tired in his heart. The people around me. How come everyone is a pig teammate? Didn't you see that the police officer's face has turned black to the bottom of the pot? Comrade police officer. Zhonghai smiled awkwardly on his face. Continue to forcefully explain. Jia Zhang is too angry. So. There is already some nonsense. We will definitely strengthen her education when we go back. Kill him. Be sure to kill that little bastard Li Jianye. It hurts so much. I feel so painful. I regret it so much. I knew earlier. If I had known, I would have stolen all of his house. It's all smashed up. Zhonghai. Forget it, I'm tired, let's destroy it. However. Although Zhonghai is very tired. But. I still need to force an explanation. Comrade police officer. Look, our children are already talking nonsense in pain police officer. Although the police are now very suspicious of the composition of this family. But. The most important thing at present is still the case. Child. The juice you drank. What kind of juice is it? I don't know. Bang Ji moaned in pain and said, there are still 2 bottles in my pocket. I heard the pun. Everyone quickly went to search for Bang Ji's clothes. Because I took off my clothes during the surgery. So. They really didn't discover what was inside their clothes in the first time. However. Now I'm looking for it. I quickly found 2 bottles of medicine inside my clothes. When I saw the text on the so called juice. Everyone in the room fell silent. At the same time. They also understood why Bang Ji had such a reaction. However. While understanding. A small question arose in their hearts. Is this medicine really so strong? Can an underdeveloped child be instantly saluted? Is it really possible to use a 1-drop tube for 2 hours? And while these people were puzzled, Qin Huai was wondering about another thing. Bang meme. Do you not recognize words? Can't you see what's written on this bottle? Didn't it say above that you can't drink under the age of 18? I see, but I don't believe it. It's just juice. It must be because I don't want to drink, that's why it's written like this. It's targeting me. Everyone. Okay. We have probably figured it out now. A police officer looked at Jia Zhang and his group in front of him with an unpleasant expression. This child has entered a person's home. I broke into the room and stole these 3 bottles of medicine. Then drink the potion. A physical reaction occurred. Finally, break off your own ox. And there is also a very clear explanation on this medication. So, the main error in this event. It's about this child. When children are still young. It's the first offense again. Plus the fact that I am still injured. No punishment will be imposed. But it is still necessary to compensate the owner for their losses. You and I will go to the owner's house later. Compensation for the owner's losses. What? I heard what the police said. Jia Zhang's whole body jumped up. Like a bouncing meatball. We can't get any compensation for that little bastardly Jianye. And instead, he needs to compensate for his losses. Why? We won't compensate. Oh. Are you still justified in burglary? Upon hearing this, the police officer's eyes immediately became sharp. And Zhonghai on the side really feels tired. He feels. Jia Zhang has no brain at all. If it weren't for the face of my good disciple Jia Dongshu. He doesn't even want to meddle in the troubles of the Jia family. Comrade police officer. My sister.In.Law is really confused with anger. Don't worry. We will definitely compensate for this money. Humph. The police officer snorted coldly. The child said coldly, at a young age, he doesn't learn well. I'm afraid it's related to you adults. If you can't teach children well. So, let him go to the juvenile detention center to undergo rehabilitation. Don't go to the juvenile detention center. Upon hearing these words, Jia Zhang immediately became hesitant. I'm also afraid. She doesn't want her precious grandson to go to the juvenile detention center. Go to the juvenile detention center, Bang Ji will be ruined in his lifetime. We're losing money. Lose money. At this moment. Jia Zhang is about to cry. She never thought of it. My precious grandson has suffered such a crime. Not only did she not receive any compensation, but she also had to compensate Li Jianye with money. Okay. Let's go. Go meet the owner. The police officer spoke coldly. Let's do it this way. Zhonghai stood up and said, Sister-in-law, you're here to watch Bang Geng. Let's go back and handle the matter. How about it, line? Jia Zhang readily agreed without hesitation. How leisurely it is to watch Bang Geng. I still have to pay a fine when I go back. She doesn't want to go back. The group quickly arrived at the courtyard from the hospital. However, when they returned to the courtyard. But I happened to meet 2 police officers called by Li Jianye who had just come out of the courtyard at the door. 4 police officers face each other with 4 eyes. They were all a bit shocked. And Zhonghai and others also looked bewildered. What's going on? I just went out for a while. Why did the police enter the courtyard? Zhonghai felt a bit confused in his heart. At the same time, it also gave rise to an ominous feeling. Chapter 7. Zhonghai's people are numb. Qin Huai breaks the defense. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lao Wang, why did you come here? Among the 4 police officers, 2 people happened to know each other. So, after the meeting, I said hello. Hey, don't mention it. A thief has appeared in this courtyard. Still a child. Good guy. One person stole the entire courtyard. It's simply outrageous. However, I heard that the cow has broken off. Entered the hospital. We are going to the hospital to see the situation. Lao Li, what's going on with you? Everyone, Listen to Lao Wang's narration. Everyone fell silent. Good guy. Isn't this just a pun? And absurdly, Bang Geng actually stole all the people in the courtyard. And when the police were surprised and shocked, Zhonghai, Yuzhu, and Qin Huai have a different feeling. Zhonghai just feels like he's completely numb. Bang Ji often steals things. He naturally knows. However, at that time, his good disciple Jia Dongshu had not yet died. In order to make Jia Dongshu more obedient, he has been helping Bang Ji deal with these things all along. And the people in the courtyard were also obediently governed by him. I didn't expect it. Today was such an accident. Let all his previous efforts go to waste. Forget it. Destroy it. Anyway, Dongshu is also gone. The life and death of the Jia family have nothing to do with me either. Zhonghai has decided to abandon the Jia family. Yuzhu is currently in a daze. He knows that Bang Ji often goes to his house to get some food. But he didn't care. I'm still a bit overjoyed. He thought this was a recognition of his relationship with Qin Huai by Bang Geng. That's why it's so inconspicuous to go to his house to get something. He always thought that he was the most special one in the entire hospital. The only one who was visited by Bang Geng. I didn't expect it. Bang Ji quietly stole the entire courtyard. And at this moment, Qin Huai is in a state of collapse. She also knows that Bang Ji has been stealing things all along. But before, there was always Zhonghai guarding it. Plus, our family is really poor and we don't have enough food to eat. So, just let it go. I didn't expect it. Surprisingly, such a situation happened today. Bang Ji shouldn't go to the juvenile detention center, right? Qin Huai is very nervous at the moment. Old Li. Why are you silent? Old Wang looked at Old Li with some confusion. And Lao Li heard this. It was a helpless smile. It seems our two cases can be merged now. We received a report from the little boy's grandmother. After our investigation, the little boy drank the aphrodisiac from Comrade Li Jianye's home. Then he broke his own cow. Come here this time. It's to lead them to find Comrade Li Jianye. And provide certain compensation to Comrade Li Jianye. I didn't expect it. That child surprisingly stole so many times. It seems that this case cannot be closed like this. He must go to the juvenile detention center to undergo transformation. What? I heard what the police officer said. The people around were immediately stunned. The police officer across from me didn't expect it. That child is so peculiar. I broke such an important thing myself. And Qin Huai directly broke through the defense. Xiaoguan. How can Bang Geng go to the juvenile detention center? After he recovered from his injury, it is necessary to properly nourish the body. Otherwise, he will be extinct in this lifetime. If I go to the juvenile detention center, it's impossible to repair the body. At that time, my hard-working child is about to become extinct. Qin Huai cried as she spoke. While speaking, I heard that Yuzhu was in a hurry. I don't know what to do. However, he is still a relatively clever person. So he quickly spoke up and asked the police. Comrade police officer. You also know. Bang Ji's current physical condition means he can't go to the juvenile detention center at all. Do you think this is feasible? We lose money. Compensate the neighbors for their money. Get their letter of understanding. And then avoid the imprisonment of Bang Geng. This is also possible. The police officer nodded slightly upon hearing the words. The current laws are not very perfect. If the thief is not stealing anything from the public, Generally, it is the people who do not elect officials and do not investigate. Plus, Bang Geng is young. Not even 10 years old. So, if we can get the letter of understanding. So it's okay not to send it to the juvenile detention center. On the contrary, if what Xiao secretly has is public property. Once caught. That's it. Even children have to start in 3 years. Call out, that's great, it's really great. Qin Huai suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. And Zhonghai beside him watched this scene. But his eyes lit up. Qin Huai is a very clear person in his heart. That is a woman who only loves herself and her children. Yuzhu also knows very well. A pure idiot licking a dog is a self-righteous and promiscuous person. So, if Yuzhu and Qin Huai were paired together. So, as long as Qin Huai still has a son, she wouldn't have given birth to any children for Yuzhu. In this way, he can make better use of Yuzhu to support his retirement. So, Zhonghai suddenly wanted to hold a whole house meeting to help the Jia family. At the same time, selling Yuzhu is a favor. Finally, you can also leverage the authority of police officers to strengthen one's position in the courtyard. Comrade police officer. You see, why don't we do this? Zhonghai smiled and said, I am an old man from this courtyard house. Wait a moment. I can gather all the neighbors of the 4 courtyards together. Convene a general meeting of the entire institution. Let's discuss the compensation and the letter of understanding together. You 4 stay here as witnesses. After we have settled all the compensation and the letter of understanding. Directly exempt from the imprisonment of the stick meme. At the same time, you 4 are here again. It will also make our entire conference appear more fair and just. How about this? It's also possible. 4 police officers nodded at the words. Agreed to such a suggestion. After seeing the police agree, Zhonghai's eyes suddenly flickered. Then he turned his head to look at Yuzhu. Pillar. You go and notify everyone. Immediately convene a general meeting of the entire court. Discuss the matter of Bang meme theft. You mainly go to the front yard and middle yard. I'll go to the backyard. Chapter 8. The odd rhythm of the whole house assembly. Li Jian. You are listening at novel full.audio. Zhonghai is still very intelligent. He knows Yuzhu's personality. If after seeing Li Jianye, I'm afraid there will be a match. If in normal times, the 2 of them just fought, and he didn't care either. But now there are police officers here. Then we can't fight anymore. Although Yuzhu doesn't quite understand the meaning of Zhonghai. But he still did it honestly. Soon, 1 person from each household came to the courtyard. Attend the general meeting of the entire institution. Lu Haizhong and Yan Bugue also came together. For today's events. They are very passive. Originally, the 3 masters had already discussed it. When encountering such an event, let's work together to cover the lid. But what they never expected was. Surprisingly, Li Jianye did not follow the routine in his moves. After encountering a problem, he surprisingly didn't look for the steward. Go to the police first. This made them all somewhat resentful of Li Jianye. After seeing everyone present, Zhonghai patted the table, gesturing for everyone to quiet down. The purpose of calling everyone over this time. I want to talk about the meme of the stick. Before discussing the matter, we would like to invite these 4 police officers to briefly explain the situation to everyone. Everyone applaud and welcome. Accompanied by a burst of applause. A police officer takes a step forward. He spoke lightly about the process of the incident. And when everyone heard the pun that the cow was broken by themselves, Everyone feels a bit amused. However, the reason why I broke the cow when I heard Bang Ji was actually because of Li Jianye's aphrodisiac. The eyes that looked at Li Jianye one by one became strange. Regardless of gender. As long as they have been married. His eyes became unusually hot. Who doesn't want themselves, or their significant other, to become incredibly brave? Everyone also began to constantly discussing how much this aphrodisiac really costs. Even some people are thinking of waiting until the general meeting of the entire institution is over. Have a good chat with Li Jianye about the transaction. After all, the experience of Bang Geng is the best proof of the effectiveness of the potion. Looking at the eyes of those neighbors, Li Jianye couldn't help but laugh. He didn't expect it. My own home was stolen by Bang Geng. Surprisingly, there is such an effect. There is no doubt about it. His potion is on fire. Maybe my task quantity of 100 bottles can be completed quickly. Li Jianye was somewhat pleased. Very soon, the police finished speaking. Then Zhonghai spoke again and said, "This is just one thing. Everyone knows the stick meme. It was everyone who grew up watching from a young age. Now I have suffered such harm again. If he goes to the juvenile detention center, so he may become extinct. So I suggest that everyone speak up about their losses. Let the Jia family compensate everyone for their losses. And everyone is writing a letter of understanding. So Bang Geng also avoided the disaster of imprisonment. Everyone is happy. Comrade police officer, he also agreed with my suggestion. I hope everyone can truthfully report their losses. Don't lie about it. Alright. Let's start from the backyard. Li Jianye, come first. Afterwards, everyone will come one by one. Listen to Zhonghai's words. Everyone dared not refute. Although they recently experienced a slight sense of resistance against Zhonghai's success when they told the police about the Bang meme incident. But after seeing that Zhonghai could even advise the police, they immediately became hesitant. Then he turned his head to look at Li Jianye. After all, Li Jianye is the core figure of this incident. And Zhonghai is also watching Li Jianye. He asked Li Jianye to provide a quotation first. Mainly to suppress Li Jianye harshly. After all, Li Jianye's report to the police today made him feel very unhappy. He feels Li Jianye is just a prick. We must subdue him. Otherwise, maybe he will cause trouble in the future. Okay, Li Jianye sneered and nodded. My medicine costs 5 yuan per bottle. I lost 3 bottles, so it's 15 yuan, what? Upon hearing this, Yuzhu let out a strange cry. Zhonghai also looked bewildered. Li Jianye. I said it. You can't quote randomly. Yuzhu also nodded along. Just a small bottle and a mouthful of yours. Dare to ask for 5 yuan. Do you know what you can buy for 5 yuan? I use good medicine. It contains top-notch deer antler. A top-quality tiger whip. Do you know how much top-level deer antler costs? Do you know how much a tiger whip costs? My medicine. But it is brewed by blending hundreds of precious medicinal herbs. Only in this way can we ensure the efficacy of the medication. No harm to the body. Even if one accidentally drinks too much medicine. You can also release excess yang energy by consuming yang tao. Although yang tao is a southern fruit. Not easy to buy. But this is a function that other drugs don't have. To adjust the taste. And a considerable amount of rock sugar was added. And seasoning agents. You don't understand the price of medicinal herbs. What's the price of rock sugar? Don't you, the chef, know this? Upon hearing this, Yuzhu immediately froze. He also smelled the medicine. Thinking of Bang Geng and saying it's like juice. So there must be a lot of sugar added. Now is a period of natural disasters. Rock sugar is really hard to buy. Although the ticket only costs 60 cents per kilogram. But many times, you can't even buy tickets. The supply and marketing cooperative has no stock at all. Going to the black market, I even bought rock sugar for 3 yuan per kilogram. As for deer antler, tiger whip, and so on. He also knows that they are all very expensive things. So. Yuzhu did not refute either. Jianye. You need to take out your ingredient list. And proof of purchase. Otherwise, we won't accept your statement. Zhonghai looked coldly at Jianye and said. Yuzhu is dressed. He's not convinced. However, Jianye was too lazy to argue with Zhonghai. It doesn't matter whether you recognize it or not. If I don't recognize it, I'll go back. Let's meet at the police station. Jianye shrugged and turned to leave. So skilled. Directly confused Zhonghai. At this moment. He suddenly realized. Now, he is begging Jianye. Instead of Jianye begging him for compensation. Whenever I think of the police standing next to me. If this matter is not resolved. Not only will his reputation decline. And. Bang Geng also needs to go to the juvenile detention center. So. He gritted his teeth directly. Pinched his nose and recognized this 15 yuan. Okay. 5 yuan per bottle is 5 yuan per bottle. And listen to the conversation between Zhonghai and Jianye. The eyes of the neighbors around also became more intense. It doesn't matter if the medicine is more expensive. Good medicinal herbs are the absolute truth. For a while. Many people are looking forward to the end of the conference soon. They can go find Jianye to buy some potions and try them out tonight. At the same time. They were also greatly shocked in their hearts. No one could have imagined. That street skater Jianye, surprisingly has such a skill. That. When it's Qin Huai's turn to give the money. Qin Huai immediately looked pitifully at Yuzhu. At the same time. Squeezed out a few more tears. Pillar, you also know the situation at our home. My mother-in-law is holding all the money. I really don't have any money. You can borrow some from sister first. I'll pay you back when my salary is paid. Hey Qin Jia, if you say this, it will be seen outside. Don't worry. I'm the one responsible for this. Yuzhu did not hesitate. I directly patted my chest and accepted the compensation matter. Subsequently. He took out 15 yuan. Handed over to Jianye. Now Jia Dongshu has just passed away. Qin Huai just had her mind set on Yuzhu. So. Yuzhu is quite wealthy. However. Watching Jianye take the money and leave without signing a letter of understanding. Yuzhu suddenly became anxious. Don't leave, sign it. Signature. Why do we need to sign? Jianye looked coldly at Yuzhu. You took the money, you just need to sign it. Yuzhu couldn't understand. Who stipulated that when I receive the compensation I deserve, I need to sign a letter of understanding? Jianye sneered and said, these 15 yuan are what you should compensate for. Whether I sign or not, you both have to compensate. As for the letter of understanding. Sorry. I don't want to understand. Hear Jianye's words. The whole room fell silent instantly. All the neighbors looked at Jianye. A big question mark popped up in my mind. They didn't expect it. Can there be such an operation? Chapter 9. Heavenly Forgiveness Fee, Neighbors Are Envious. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Comrade Police Officer. You said this. Yuzhu doesn't understand. So. turning to look at the police officer. Upon hearing this, the police officer nodded expressionlessly. Compensation is what you deserve. Regardless of whether the other party understands or not. All require compensation. As for whether the other party understands, it depends on your own abilities. Anyway, if there is no letter of understanding, children must enter the juvenile detention center. Listen to the police officers. Qin Huai's body suddenly shook. His face turned pale. And the neighbors around were instantly overjoyed. They can ask for money to learn something new. Okay. Yuzhu gritted his teeth and looked at Jianye. Jianye. Speak up. How much money do you need to sign? Are you speaking in a pleading tone? Listen to Jianye's words. Yuzhu was so angry that he almost bit his teeth. But, for the sake of Qin Huai, he still managed to suppress his anger forcefully. In a pleading tone, he asked, Jianye, please sign the letter of understanding. I am willing to pay a certain amount of money to compensate you. Isn't this able to speak? Jianye smiled and said, I thought you had a tumor on your neck. I didn't expect it. Surprisingly, there is still some brain power, ha ha ha, I heard Jianye's words. Everyone immediately laughed. And Yuzhu was so angry that his head was smoking. But he dare not refute it. I just deeply remember Jianye. After today's events, he will definitely retaliate. Revenge fiercely. Okay. I won't make it difficult for you either. Give me 1,000 yuan. I have signed the letter of understanding, 1,000 yuan. Everyone was surprised. Nowadays, with a monthly salary of 30 yuan, one can support their entire family. 1,000 yuan is money that countless families have saved for a lifetime and cannot save. And Jianye actually spoke up for 1,000 yuan. How can this not shock everyone? You're crazy. Yuzhu cursed angrily and then turned his head to look at the police. Comrade police officer. He extorted. A letter of understanding emphasizes mutual agreement. There is no claim of extortion. The police officer shook his head upon hearing this. It is common to encounter a lion speaking loudly when signing a letter of understanding. So, he is no longer surprised. You can talk about this matter yourselves. It's nothing if I can't get the letter of understanding. It's just a few more years of working in a juvenile detention center. Listen to the police officers. Qin Huai felt a wave of despair. Once Bang Ji goes to the juvenile detention center, not only is the future over, and even cows may be finished. At that time, I will definitely become a useless person. So, she turned her head and looked pitifully at Yuzhu. Pillar. Sister, please. Lend some more money to sister. Bang Geng is absolutely not allowed to enter the juvenile detention center. Sister, I will wash your clothes and clean up for you in the future. I'll repay you for being a cow and a horse. Speaking. She started crying. Qin Jia, don't cry. Yuzhu suddenly became anxious. But this 1,000 yuan, he's also in a difficult position. If it's 100 yuan, he gritted his teeth and gave it. But this is 1,000 yuan. However, seeing the pitiful appearance of Qin Huai, he softened his heart in an instant. So, turning to look at Zhonghai. Grandpa. I can't take out 1,000 yuan. How about you lend me 900? When I save enough money, will I repay you, okay? Zhonghai nodded without hesitation. Lend money to Yuzhu. Beneficial for him to grasp Yuzhu. Our courtyard house. We should help each other, unite and be friendly. Encountered such a situation. We can't be petty, we need to help. Zhonghai seems to be talking about himself. But actually, But it's talking about Li Jianye. However, Li Jianye paid no attention to this at all. Wait for Zhonghai to take out the money. After handing over to Yuzhu, Li Jianye didn't grind his teeth either. Signed the letter of understanding directly. 1,000 yuan, 1,000 yuan. This wave, I've made a fortune. Li Jianye is very happy. Originally, he has already emptied his entire fortune for the sake of pharmaceuticals. They are ready to eat porridge these days. I didn't expect it. Bang meme is so easy to steal. Give him a whole 1,000 yuan. Now, he not only doesn't need to drink the northwest wind anymore. Moreover, it's also possible to have plenty of meat and fish. Thank you for the eunuch's reward for robbing the saint. Li Jianye expressed his gratitude in his heart. I happily returned to my room. On the other side, after seeing Li Jianye receive a sky-high understanding fee, all the neighbors were red-eyed. So much money. Li Jianye needs it. They also need it. My house was robbed of 2 cabbage and a bag of stick noodles. Su Damao stood up with a smile and his eyes fixed on him. A total of 2 yuan however. I want a forgiveness fee of 2,000. Wow. I heard Su Damao's words. Everyone was immediately shocked. No one expected it. Su Damao is so ruthless. Grandma. Yuzhu has become hard. My fist is hard. He looked fiercely at Su Damao. If it weren't for having 4 police officers around. At this moment, he has already rushed out to fight against Su Damao. Su Damao. I advise you to think it over before speaking. Yuzhu squeezed out such a sentence from between his teeth. Su Damao felt a little flustered when he heard it. However, after thinking that the police officers were right beside me, he immediately gave up. Hee. Silly pillar. Is this your attitude when speaking? You'd better show me some respect. Otherwise, I won't sign any letter of understanding for you. At this moment, all of Yuzhu's rationality is focused on suppressing anger. So much so that I don't even know how to confront Su Damao. However, fortunately, he has the cunning Zhonghai by his side. Su Damao. Words cannot be spoken randomly. You said Bang Ji took something from your house. So, is there any evidence? Zhonghai looked coldly at Su Damao. There is no way to deal with Li Jianye. That's because Li Jianye reported to the police as soon as he was stolen. But the matter of Su Damao has been going on for a long time. Can't he handle Su Damao? This. Su Damao heard this. I was stunned for a moment. Chapter 10. Yuzhu's Revenge. A lively courtyard. You are listening at novel full.audio. The so. Called Catching Thieves and Loot. Every crime requires a single piece of evidence. Zhonghai said coldly, Su Damao. Do you have evidence to prove that Bang Ji stole your things? I have already reported the case to that police officer comrade. Su Damao is a bit confused. However, I still reached out and pointed to a police officer not far away. The police officer heard this. He stood up and said, indeed, it was reported. However, we are still investigating this case. Because it has been too long in the past. So, at present, we cannot confirm whether the lost item you mentioned is true. This. Su Damao immediately became numb upon hearing these words. He also realized it. If I really dare to ask for forgiveness fees. So. Not only should we receive the compensation we deserve, but we cannot afford it. And tomorrow I will definitely be beaten up by Yuzhu again. So. He was very clever and obedient. Then I don't want to forgive the fee. Give me the compensation I should have. Su Dumao. Yuzhu was just about to say something. But it was stopped by Zhonghai. Pillar, please handle this matter quickly. I believe Su Dumao will not deceive us. If you don't have enough money, I'll lend you another $100. This okay? Yuzhu is not really a fool either. After a moment of confusion, I also realized what is currently the most critical issue. Now, the most important thing is to quickly resolve this matter. Then send the police away. After the police leave, they want to control these neighbors, isn't it simple? So, the following compensation process is very simple and fast. After such an incident by Su Dumao, other neighbors, I also understood one truth. That's it. If they don't want any forgiveness fees and require relatively little compensation, everything is easy to say. If they dare to ask for forgiveness fees, then don't want anything. So, very soon, all families in the hospital have signed a letter of understanding. The general meeting of the entire institution has come to an end. And the police also left the courtyard with a letter of understanding. Finally, the police officers were escorted away. Zhonghai couldn't help but take a long breath. These police officers are here. It really puts too much pressure on him. Okay. It's getting late. Pillar, you should go back and rest early too. Zhonghai casually said 2 words. Then he turned around and walked towards his own home. On the surface, he doesn't care about anything. But actually, his revenge against Jianye has already begun. And his first step in retaliating against Jianye, it's using Yuzhu to seek revenge. With a pillar-like personality. I should have started thinking about how to retaliate against Jianye, right? Zhonghai had a slight sneer on his face. He must be driven out of the courtyard. Otherwise, the courtyard is in chaos. Jianye, this bastard kid, causing me a loss of 1,000 yuan. What a despicable thing. We must let him know what will happen to me. Yuzhu was drinking a muffled wine at home, thinking irritably. Suddenly, Yuzhu's eyes lit up. He came up with a great idea. Got it. Isn't he making his own potions? I can report him. He's a street wanderer, why do he make potions? Is this illegal? Yes. It's illegal. I must report him. And while Yuzhu was thinking about how to report Jianye's illegal drug use, Jianye has already started selling medicine here. The first person to come to visit was Jianye's neighbor Su Dumao. Although Su Dumao is not married yet. But he is a projectionist who often goes to the countryside to show movies. From time to time, I would play poker with the little girls and widows from the countryside. Occasionally, I also feel that I can't handle the enthusiasm of those widows. So, he wants to buy a bottle of potion to strengthen his weapon. Hee. Jianye, Su Dumao had a pleasing smile on his face. Is your aphrodisiac really so magical? You don't know the end of Bang Meme, do you? Jianye said with a smile upon hearing the words. Can I have a bottle, then? Is that 5 yuan? 5 yuan is the cost price. 20 bottles, if you want it, you can take it away. Jianye smiled and said. Although private sales are not allowed now. But do you have recording and camera tools now? As long as he maintains his principle of selling medicine. Selling some medicine is not a problem. The principle of selling medicine is also very simple. One is that only Su Dumao is sold in the courtyard. Jianye doesn't believe that those animals will honestly buy medicine. In this way, I won't be jointly reported by those beasts. Selling only Su Dumao was also a decision he made after careful consideration. Firstly, Su Damao needs this thing. Secondly, Su Damao likes to brag and curry favor with leaders. This is beneficial for him to spread the reputation of the medicine. Finally, even a report by Su Damao is useless because there is no evidence. Secondly, constantly giving away small trial kits for free to others. Spread your reputation and medicinal effects. Then, cover your face and go to the black market to sell a small amount of medicine. Of course, when the reputation is exposed, you don't have to give away free medication. Jianye laughed and looked forward to the withdrawal reactions of those animals after discontinuing their medication. Thirdly, find a job as a doctor. Find reliable patients and sell the medicine to them. In this way, it is truly safe to sell medicine. 20. Why don't you go grab it? Upon hearing this, Su Damao looked like a cat with its tail guessed. It's exploded. Damao, my medicine has a good effect. Jianye smiled and said, do you think so? You can not only use it yourself, but also give it to the leader. I heard. You and Deputy Factory Director Li are quite close, right? That person is said to be very lascivious. If you give him 2 bottles of this thing, will he give you any benefits? Hiss. Upon hearing this, Su Damao immediately took a deep breath. He thinks what Jianye said is very right. My heart also became excited. Excited, he also subconsciously ignored why Jianye knew that Deputy Factory Director Li was lascivious. Okay. Give me a bottle first. I'll try to see if it works or not. And then we'll talk. 2 people pay with one hand and deliver with the other. Jianye also completed his first business. And Su Damao's doorstep seems to be a signal that his business is starting. Very soon, many neighbors sneaked into Jianye's house. I want to purchase a bottle of aphrodisiac from Jianye. But Jianye, however, claimed that he could not do business without authorization. Refused to sell medication. Just opened 1 bottle, and each person gave 1 drop for free. So, this night, the sound of playing poker in the courtyard was continuous. In addition, the current houses have poor sound insulation. Suddenly, let some people without medication feel uncomfortable and want to curse. Yuzhu. Grass, a type of plant. Su Damao. Gone. Ant-E. Lao-E, why don't we also play a game? Zhonghai said, don't come over. Ant-E. Lao-E, outside, I'm always cooperating with you to say that I can't have children. If you don't agree, I'll say you can't do it. Looking at the threatening gaze of an elderly woman, Zhonghai reluctantly gave up struggling and lay flat. Zhonghai. It's just one night. The power of Jianye's aphrodisiac has deeply penetrated the hearts of the people in the courtyard. And Jianye. Also because I earned over 1,000 yuan. In an instant, he transformed from a poor boy who could only drink from the west to the north, to a millionaire in a 1,000 yuan household. However, what Jianye didn't expect was the surprise brought to him by Bang Geng, the spokesperson for aphrodisiacs, has just begun.